5.1, sample spaces and probability. So first of all, a probability experiment. A probability experiment is an action or trial that has varying results. So an example of this could be rolling a 6-sided die. So we take the die, we roll it, we see what happens. Now, an outcome are possible results from the probability experiment. So if our probability experiment is rolling a 6-sided die, then possible outcomes would be, well, we could roll a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. An event from the probability experiment is a collection of one or more of the outcomes. So if our outcomes are we could roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, then a specific event would be rolling a 1 or rolling a 2. In that event, this is what happened. And then the sample space is the set of all possible outcomes. So in this rather simple example, our sample space would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, because that's all the possible outcomes that you can get when you roll a single 6-sided die. Now, finding a sample space. Number 1, find the number of possible outcomes in the sample space, then list all the possible outcomes. And then letter A says we're going to flip 2 coins. Now, in order to do this, you can just use a list. I'm specifically going to use a tree diagram. And when we flip 2 coins, we're going to have over here, we're going to have coin 1, and then we're going to have coin 2. When we flip coin 1, when you flip a coin, think about it like you have a quarter. You could flip a head, or you could flip a tails. Then, when we flip coin 2, we could kind of do the same thing. So I'm going to come down here, and coin 2, I could either flip a head, or I could flip a tail. And then over here, I could do the same thing. I could either flip a head or I could flip a tail. Now, what this is showing me is my list of total outcomes. So up here, if I flip a head, then I could flip another head. So that gives me the result of head then head. Or I could flip a head, but then flip a tail, which gives me the result of head tails. My other one, I could flip a tail first, then flip a head. Or I could flip a tail first and then flip a tail. So my entire sample space is right here, which tells me that there are 4 total outcomes. Letter B, you flip 2 coins and then you roll a 6-sided dice. So we're going to start the same way, and this time we have 2 coins, so we're going to have coin 1, and on coin 1 I could either flip a head or I could flip a tail. Then it says we have 2 coins, so now we're going to have coin 2. So after I get a head, I'm going to flip my second coin, and I could either get a head or a tail. Or if I flip a tail, I'm going to flip my second coin, and I could either get a head or a tail. Now in this example, it says, well, then we're going to roll a 6-sided die. So then we're going to roll the die. And when you roll a die, you could get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So down here, I'm going to try my best to fit this in. I could get a 1, 2, 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. Then we're going to do this again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then one more time. Now, listing these, we have to make sure that we're being very specific. So I'm going to start with my head. Now I'm going to come down my list. So I did head, and then 1. So we rolled a head, and then a head, and then on the die, we got a 1. I could also still do head, 2. And then down the list, we're going to have head, head 3, head, head 4, head, head 5, head, head 6. And that took care of this set over there. Now I'm still going to be up here with my head on the other side, but now I'm going to go tails. So head, tails 1, head, tails 2, head, tails 3, head, tails 4, head, tails 5, and then head, tails 6, which took care of this one over here. Now we're going to jump over here and we're going to start with our tails. So tails, head 1, tails, head 2, tails, head 3, tails, head 4, tails, head 5, tails, head 6, which just took care of this one. And then last but not least, we're going to do tails, tails 1, tails, tails 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So when it says to list our outcomes or list our sample space, this is the list of your sample space. And if you count them, we've actually got like 6 by 4, which tells us that there are 24 different outcomes.